What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live for Geeks and Gamers Friday. It's Ryan and Jay, and oh, what a day it is.
Yeah, it's
Hello,
Friday.
Jay.
It's casual Friday for me. That's why I went into a different room in the house,
Oh,
just being extra lazy, you know?
so it's
Uh,
not a green screen. That's just your lounge room.
it's my lounge area.
That's pretty nice. You got a good place there, Jay. Got a lot of space.
It's not much. We call it home. So that's all I could say. I got a little sarsaparilla on the tap back there, Nothing beats that. Nothing beats that.
Well,
So
sarsaparilla, yeah. How you
never had a
doing? You
good
feeling good?
sarsaparilla? Never had a good sarsaparilla? Not your thing, huh?
That sounds like an old person thing.
My grandpa used to call root beer that, even if it was root beer. Like, give me a sarsaparilla. It's
Yeah,
root beer.
isn't it similar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not a huge root beer guy. Like if you pop open a can of root beer and hand it to me, I'm like, all right. I'll have it like a root beer float. I'll do that. That's good. You put ice cream in it, you can eat almost anything.
Yeah.
But just a normal ass root beer, never been a big fan. I'd take pretty much anything else. Give me a Coke or a Sprite or a Dr. Pepper or a Mountain Dew. Pretty much anything other than root beer.
I respect it.
Now we doing root beer floats. We're going to Red Robin. We do unlimited root beer floats. That's a different story. I'll eat the fuck out of that.
Yeah, downtown Orlando, there's a place called Old Town. It really is. It's like a cheap, clunky circus.
Yeah, I've been there a million times. There's an A&W there.
There's an A&W there, yeah. So got the root beer float one time, and I decided to test the waters and get one of their chili dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That was surprisingly well, but my stomach was a little bubbly afterwards, but nothing serious. Nothing serious. Just some serious gas, man. Like, so I was crop dusting everyone for the next hour in that little strip there in Old Town.
Yeah, I've been down. I walked around Old Town a couple times. It's all right,
It's a little place. Got a little mini golf, got a little circus roller coaster, some
I used to walk around there and catch Pokemon, to be honest with you.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Every now and then
nice
they
little
do a
long
classic,
strip, yeah.
Yeah, they do a classic car show there. I should go there for park hopping, maybe show you what it's like.
Someone
It's
said Ryan's
dirty.
never been to an A&W drive-in. I've been to probably 10 A&Ws in my life. I used to go all the time. There used to be one when I was growing up pretty close. I'm just not a big root beer guy. Root beer float, fine. Root beer just to drink and sip on? No, I'll take something else. I'll take something else.
I don't think there's caffeine in root beer either, right?
I don't believe so.
It's a caffeine-free beverage.
Same thing with Sprite, right? There's no caffeine in Sprite.
That I don't know. All I know is McDonald's Sprite is from a different planet. It's a different type of Sprite. I don't know what it is, but it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, there's no caffeine in Sprite.
Okay. So it's just naturally decaffeinated.
Yeah, I don't fucking understand any of this. Whatever. Did you see? Apparently, Beardo got roasted for giving medical advice on Tuesday night's main event.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, I guess Jeremy went off character and said, "You really need to stop doing that, or you're going to get the channel taken down." There's a clip of it on the Clips channel if you want to see with your own eyes.
Probably like the clip right after I fucking talk about allergy shit.
Yeah, I know. That was so funny. I guess some guy came in there with like Tourette's or something, and he was giving medical advice on how to beat Tourette's.
Or like just get over it or something.
Yeah. Or like maybe drink. I don't know. I don't know how you give medical advice on beating Tourette's. If I had Tourette's, or I could just curse and say whatever I want in like public areas, I'd have a sign or a shirt that say, "Excuse me, I have Tourette's," and just cuss everybody out all the time. It would be awesome.
The thing is, the The thing is, I actually don't think that the form of Tourette's that we think of when we hear that, I don't think that's the kind of Tourette's that probably 99% of people have.
Oh, okay.
Out swear words or obscenities or whatever.
Sure.
Usually I think it's much lighter forms involving like tics and
Oh.
like involuntary motions and things like that. I think those are like the most common thing. I think the people that are saying things out of their control, I think that's a very small portion of people that actually have Tourette's.
That's the kind I would want. If
Yeah.
I were to get it, that's the kind I would want.
You don't want any. You don't want tics or twitches. You just want to be able to scream.
Could you? I mean, imagine like. I mean, if someone's struggling with that in the chat, I apologize. I'm not like making fun of you or anything, but it's like imagine like you could just go live and just say, "Hi, I have Tourette's. I don't know what I'm gonna say," and people would watch to see if you would just read the chat and just curse everybody out all the time. Or you could just watch RK Outpost Wednesday night and Sunday for the same thing.
Yeah, I mean that's not my excuse. It's just the way I talk. You know what I mean? So
that's it.
What are you gonna do?
Go. I'm not. I do not listen to me for any type of medical advice, or financial, or probably anything about life ever. I'm surprised I made it this far, this long.
Hey, we're not giving medical advice. We're just talking. Golden Nuggets for 10. The first Oblivion remaster showed me how creatively bankrupt the millennials and Gen Zs are. And modern stuff is all but dead due to political correctness and weak character. Because people were so excited to play a 20-year-old game or what? But thank you, Golden Nuggets. I started playing it the other day. The King's Court. So I think King's Advisors. And I think this is his new channel, The King's Court.
Yes. How did you know? We finally...
I pay attention to things.
All right. We finally bullied him because he's in the law field to make a law channel where he goes over like different court documents, things like that, especially a lot of the stuff that's happening in the Trump administration. And he finally did it today. Our friend King's Advisors finally made a law tube. Welcome to Law Tube. Now we got to bully him to wear a powdered wig when he records. That would just be, he's got to stand out, you know? He's got to stand out from the crowd. He's got to be a little different, you know? It's a saturated market. So maybe if he wore like a judge powdered wig and went over like the law.
And like spoke in an old English accent or something the entire time.
Yeah, man, maybe a corn cob pipe, excuse me.
Corn pop
like
pipe.
That. Or just like a big fat pipe that's sitting there on the desk with a little smoke coming out while he goes over. You know, there's a lot of content to be had, especially with Trump like saying we want to do this and everything. So I think it's great.
As long as it doesn't turn into just solely primarily a Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, fucking Justin Baldoni channel. That's all I ask for. But congratulations on the new channel, Kings.
You know Kings. He's a good guy.
I do. Andre CR, member for 25 months. White woman gets 200K for saying Ryan's favorite word. And I'm saying it for free. Yeah, that's a wild story out there.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, that's a wild story that's out there about a mom who some little black kid like tried to steal something out of her purse or something. She got upset, called me N-word. Did you just call that kid the N-word? She's like, yeah, he was acting like one. It's like, holy shit.
Yep, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, $200,000 on a GoFundMe, man. That's wild. Alex McCarthy. Jay does not want to talk about that at all.
No, man, I don't want it. They tried to bring it up earlier. I was like, I'm not touching that story.
Yeah. I mean, look, we got people who stab people in the heart, raising $250,000. We got people that are calling kids racial slurs, 200,000. It's a wild world out there. Apparently, the economy is not as bad as everyone's saying it is. If everyone's got all this fucking money to donate to people, that's all I'm saying. So, yeah. At first, when I heard this story, I thought maybe it occurred at a Chuck E. Cheese, but no, it's at a playground. Alex McCarthy for 2. It's Friday. Enter code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO. Thank you, Alex McCarthy, for always reminding us about our friends over at Meta PCs. There is a link in the description below. You can use code 199 if you want, or you can use code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO. Thanks, Alex.
Don't use 199.
I mean,
if you want.
If you want, you
Get a
can.
chain out.
Chain out Friday. Snacks. Ryan, I was worried after hearing you say nice things about Jeremy. Then I realized it was Jeremy Renner. All's well with the world. That's true. Young Stav, guy in the street I grew up with, had Tourette scream the N-word all day. So loud. We lived on opposite ends of the street. Well, he can make 200 grand, apparently.
It's not funny. I'm sorry that he has to deal with that, but
why are you laughing if it's not funny? Why are you giggling like a school? It's not funny as I continue to laugh.
All right, it's freaking funny.
There you go.
I wish he lived in my neighborhood.
That's different. Paper Liger. Ryan's taste buds certified glowies. He likes Jack and Coke, but not root beer. Yeah, any kind of bourbon and Coke. What are you talking about? That's great.
Captain Coke is king.
Bullet bourbon and Coke. Madney for 5. Ryan, can you tell me why in Oblivion Khajiit are 13% of the population yet commit 52% of the crime? It's a good question. It's because they're furries, I think.
Maybe.
Eddie Brock for 6. Why have Disney Plus released 3 new episodes of Andor at once? Are they that desperate to dump it as quickly as possible like Echo? Do your black voice, Ryan. Well, one, we have known about this for like 9 months since they announced the release schedule. I think it has a lot to do with, one, they realized there was a lot of criticism about how slow the burn was for season 1. And so because these Andor season 2 is like 3 episode chunks, each takes place during a certain year, and then there's a year time jump in between. I think they felt that might be the best way to keep people engaged. I don't know if it's going to pay off for them or work, but that's why they're doing it. It's not an Echo necessarily situation, or they just would have dropped it all. NDI for 5. I didn't mean to get Beardo in trouble. I just meant he's so bad at reading super chats that he made me annoyed, even with Tourette's. LMAO, not the swear type.
It's your fault. Hey, man, we love it. We love it. You didn't get Beardo in trouble. He's fine.
Panic and Skyfaller for 10. Did you guys cover the insane Nike ad campaign where they had a massive banner that read verbatim, "Never again until next year"? How many people in marketing greenlit that?
I never even heard of that.
I mean, look, I've heard the phrase "never again" a million times. I don't know if in 2025 that people link that immediately to a Holocaust reference. That wouldn't be the first thing that comes to my mind when I see it. So I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest. Ryan, what would you say is your least favorite Star Wars EU novel? Mine is definitely Crystal Star. Fuck Waru, man. Crystal Star is really bad.
Why?
That whole series, Children of the Jedi, is not good either. Some of my least favorites are Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void, Knight Errant. I don't like that one much either. There's some bad ones out there. Out of 150, there's some bad ones. Maximus, are you retarded? Thank you. Chris Bolts, Khajiit, please. Thank you.
Look at that picture.
Vault 95, only Beardo's allowed to give medical advice on G&G.
That's right.
It sounds like it's the opposite. Chris B, Ryan, speaking of Bullet, I heartily recommend Bullet Rye as well for mixing with Coke or using for an old-fashioned. There you go. Good info, Chris. Golden Nuggets. Fuck, tits. Sorry, I have Tourette's of this super chat. Jay can't help but laugh.
It's funny, dude.
Holy shit, we just got a massive raid over on the Rumble side from Steven Crowder.
Get the freak out of here.
Yeah, Steven Crowder just raided us massively over on Rumble. We got about 10,000 people watching. Darth McSpud for 2 says, Crowder raid. Welcome all. Hey, thank you guys very much for the raid. That's wild. That is absolutely insane. I have 10,000 people watching us over here on Rumble. Welcome to Geeks and Gamers Daily. So with all these people here, Jay, we might as well start getting into our topics.
Yes.
We pull up this Jeremy Renner stuff because what Jeremy Renner said yesterday, or what got out yesterday about Jeremy Renner, Marvel star, Hawkeye, all of that stuff, caught a lot of people's eyes. Because, Jay, as we've seen over the past couple weeks, some big announcements for the next Marvel project. They're bringing almost everyone back, it seems. Apparently, there's one person who was not willing to come back to Marvel, at least when it came to his own show, and that is Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner plays Hawkeye. He played him, obviously, in the Avengers movies, and then, of course, the Hawkeye Season 1. Jeremy Renner went through hell a couple years ago. Was it 2 years ago at this point where he almost died in this wild snowplow accident that crushed his body? It looked like he was going to die. And then even if he survived, a lot of people never thought he'd really be able to act again because of the physical limitations. He powered through it. He's still out there doing his thing. And apparently he felt good enough about where he's at that when Marvel came calling and asking him to do season 2 of Hawkeye on a discount, he said, nah, fuck off, Marvel. I'm good. Jeremy Renner says he turned down Hawkeye season 2 because he was offered half the salary he made for season 1. I'm like, I'm sorry, why? Do you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? And I think this brings up a multitude of things. One, the idea that a lot of these Disney Plus Marvel shows and Disney Plus shows in general, they were spending way too much money on them. So now in order to make them financially feasible, they might have to offer significantly less. Like that's like a potential reality when it comes to these things. They can't afford to put out as much money as they were. But also to come back to Jeremy Renner and ask him to do it for half of it, and he said, you know what? I don't need it. Go fuck yourselves.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, but it's also kind of, in my opinion, that's typical Disney on what they think the value that you might have to bring to a show or even a movie. That's pretty sad though, because that guy was a staple. You know, he was one of the original Avengers when Marvel was doing so well, when they were making all their billions, and then they put him in a TV show. Kind of, I guess that was to graduate the next person up, you know, to take up the bow. And so, you know, and then like, yeah, he almost died. And I hear that I hear that he was fantastic on Joe Rogan. That's all I'm hearing is like, you must watch this episode with Joe Rogan. You must watch it. And that it was really good. But for them to do that, that's such a slap in the face. Jeremy is texting me off the rip saying, hey, did you know that Steven Crowder rated you guys? Can you say something? Even though we already said something? We
did say something, Jeremy. Thank you. Yes, and big shout out to Steven Crowder for the raid over on Rumble. We already shouted it out. So appreciate those guys over there. Let's get to this because this is the video here of Jeremy Renner. This is during this interview where obviously everyone's coming back, it seems. So they ask him about it. And this was his response.
They asked me to do a season 2 and they offered me half the money. I'm like, wow, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money. And so 8 months of my time, essentially, and to do it for half the amount. I'm like, I'm sorry. Why? Because you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? Maybe that's why you want to pay me half of what I made on the first season? And this is not Marvel, mind you. This is like this Disney, not even really Disney. It's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. I told them to go fly a kite. I mean, just at the insult offer, and we didn't see eye to eye on that. And sadly, and I still love the character, I still love to do it, but I had to defend myself. I didn't ask for any more money, mind you, right? It just paid me what I made the first season. So it's a little disheartening that didn't happen, but that's fine. I'm happy to let that go because my body's probably thanking me, you know, time and time again that I'm not doing it right now.
So is this the last time we see Hawkeye? Are they going to move forward with season 2 without him and just kind of give him the Cara Dune treatment like they did Gina's character in Mando, where it's like, oh yeah, Cara Dune is off on another planet somewhere?
I don't know. Look, they're going to have like 50 freaking people. These things are going to be so chaotic. There's going to be like 50 freaking people in this Avengers Doomsday. I don't know if there's going to be any actual hype building up to do it because they've done no setup. But it's interesting, like somebody like Jeremy Renner, who knows what he made for Hawkeye season 1. The first season of Hawkeye, look, I think all of these Disney Plus shows are kind of garbage. When it comes to Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, I actually think she was one of the more tolerable, like in terms of all these female replacement characters that they've tried in the comic books and they forced into the MCU because of this agenda we've seen time after time. I actually found her much more likable than virtually any of the others. I liked the back and forth that they had. I liked that she actually looked up to and respected Hawkeye instead of the normal kind of girl boss attitude of I'm better than the original one type of thing we see so often with these fucking characters in Marvel. But Jeremy Renner, basically Marvel came to him and said, hey, let's do a season 2, buddy. He's like, fuck off, man. That's disrespectful.
I'm glad he's sticking with his guns, and hopefully more people will do the same. Because it is disrespectful. It really is. He was part of that big, I mean, he wasn't Iron Man, of course, or Thor or anyone, but he still was part of the big cash machine that they had going on there for the first 3 phases. So yeah, it is an insult. Good on you, Jeremy. And I hope they come to their senses, not their sentence.
Hope they come to their sentence. Hope they come to their sentence. But yeah, so not everybody is as willing to come back for Marvel as some of these other people out there.
Listen, before you continue, I'm just going to squeak this in real quick. Because I know why Disney's only offering half. I know why they're only offering half the salary now, because they got some problems. Their biggest money maker is, of course, the theme parks. We talk about that here, and people are like, "Oh no, Jay's going to bring it up." But listen, for real, Disney just released their summer ticket to Florida residents, and this is crazy cheap for summer. Usually, they do a Florida resident over like a spring break time or even a fall, but this time they're doing it from May through September. That's freaking wild to me. Normal tickets over the summer, depending on what day you go, could average between $109 to $170 a day for one park, even for Florida residents. But now they just introduced from May 18th to September 27th that you can get tickets for about $60 a day, $240 plus tax for a 4-day summer at Disney, at their parks. That is really a good deal for the theme parks, which is for a Disney theme park, which is normally a lot higher than
It's
that.
like $100 discount, right? And there's no way this is a direct response to Universal's new theme park, Epic Universe. There's no question. They know a lot of people are way more interested in going there than they are in going to Disney World. So they're slashing prices everywhere.
And here is the biggest thing that a lot of people don't kind of see. No blackout dates. Now, what does that mean, Jay? Why do I even care? A lot of times when you buy these special tickets, these discounted tickets, they only have certain days that it's for majority of the days you can go, but they do have like certain blackout dates. July 4th would probably have been a blackout day, thinking that more people would be at the park. Other holidays and stuff over the summer, theirs is saying we're probably going to have plenty of room this summer. So no blackout dates if you buy this ticket, and you can get a park hopper for an extra $40. That is a heck of a deal that they're throwing out there to get people to come to Disney parks over the summer. And yes, this has to be a direct response to the opening of Epic Universe, which is this month on the 22nd. Well, actually, it's pretty much open now. Anyone can get tickets now if they want to go. It's for select days. It was annual pass. We talked about that yesterday, but now it's open. They open it up to anyone that wants to go. There's only 2 days off. 2 days before the opening, they're going to close and probably clean it up. They're expected to have all kinds of guests, celebrities, and shows and fireworks and stuff on the opening day. to celebrate it. So I don't know what they haven't released anything yet on that, but yeah, this is definitely a Epic Universe response because summer is usually their busiest time. Theme parks all over the summer. Kids are off from school, they take them wherever, and people spend a lot of money, and the tickets are usually a lot higher. But again, if you live in the state of Florida, this is a resident summer magic ticket from May 18th all the way to September. Which, if you get the they really want you to get the 4-day because look, 2 days is $210. You know, for 2 more extra days, it's like $30 more. That's a heck of a deal. So I think they're feeling it. I think they're feeling the sweats.
Oh yeah, they're desperate to hang on. They know what's coming. And will we see, is there any? Can you go see Steamboat Willie at Walt Disney World still, Jay?
I haven't seen Steamboat Willie. I haven't seen that. I'm sure it's around somewhere, but I haven't really seen it. Or I haven't even.
Steamboat Willie's public domain now, don't you know?
I know. I have a 9-line shirt with it on it.
So you definitely know. Well, you can see Steamboat Willie somewhere else. Because this trailer just dropped this morning. This is what happens. Things go into public domain, and about 6 months later, a terrible low-budget horror movie comes out about something from your childhood. That's what's happening right now. I can't imagine Disney loves this, that some of their IPs are becoming public domain, and they're getting remade as like these R-rated slashers. But that's what happens. They're even using the Disney font for the advertisement of this. Steamboat Willie will whisper his way into your heart, literally, in Screamboat, a horror reimagining of the classic cartoon film. You ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Coming soon from the wonderful world of Willie. Set sail for an adventure like no other. Meet Steamboat Willie. He's wacky, he's wicked, and he's whistling his way into your heart. Literally. Oh! All aboard the Staten Island Ferry, Willie's world of mischief and mayhem. But he's not taking this trip alone. Willie is joined by a group of unsuspecting passengers, along with 5 fearless friends: Cindy, Bella, Jazzy, Ariana, and Rory.
Let's get this jungle cruise going!
I bet we'll see every one of their boobs in this film. Every single one of them will show their boobs in this film. I'm willing to bet money.
This looks so awful. But like it has the potential to just make you laugh throughout because of how fucking bad it is. There's Steamboat Willie, baby.
You remember they did? Oh yeah, keep going. Sorry, keep going.
What were we gonna say?
I was gonna bring up the Pooh film, but just keep. Well, I'll tell you after.
Yeah, they did the Winnie the Pooh slasher as well. Yeah.
From the producers of Terrifier 2 and 3.
We're all going to die.
When their dream voyage turns into a nightmare, they'll have to work together to survive the night and find their happily ever after. This is no fairy tale.
Use a Disney font.
Screamboat. In theaters April 2nd for a limited time.
That's today.
Tickets today.
I want to be where the people are.
April 2nd is not today. That is 11
last
months
month,
from now.
right?
Yeah. But yes, Screamboat Willie. Oh, we missed the last line. Hold on. We missed the last line, Jay. Got to get this. The great acting.
I want to be where the people are.
Wait, are all of them supposed to be Disney princesses, basically?
Maybe.
That was the redhead.
There's Ariel.
Oh,
that's Ariel. Yeah, and she says, I want to be where the people are.
Wait, what are the names? Cindy? So Cinderella?
Cindy. Bella.
Belle?
Jazzy.
Jasmine?
Ariel. That's it.
Ariana and Rory.
Rapunzel, maybe? Rory? That completely like crossed my mind when I was first watching this.
That's hilarious.
We are now at the point where everyone's just memeing on old classic Disney stuff, in low budget horror slasher movies. You have to imagine Disney hates this.
Of
Disney
course they do.
hates the fact that this is coming out with the fucking Disney font.
Yeah,
But holy
of
shit,
course
that's
they do.
funny.
When Winnie the Pooh became public domain, we all remember they made that Winnie the Pooh movie. And I finally watched it. Somebody talked me into so watching that. All it is, like the first, this is spoilers, sorry. The first 5 minutes, it was Christopher Robin, and he forgot to take care of Pooh and his friends, so he just went off to college. And they starved to death, so they started drawing straws on who they're going to eat first. So they eat Eeyore.
Yeah, Eeyore has to get eaten first.
He gets eaten first, and it changes them. So then they start attacking people. But every time there's just a bunch of women screaming, and like Pooh is running after him, and he just, for some reason, he's got this crazy strength where he grabs their shirt and rips it off, so they're naked, and chases them down and then eats them. That's it. And then they capture Christopher Robin, and he's like, look what you made me do. And he's like, Pooh, no. He's like, I got to eat another girl now and rip her shirt off. So that was the whole movie. Anyway.
There you go. That's Winnie the Pooh, I guess. We'll get some of that classic great storytelling now that reignite the Disney magic in Screamboat Willie. Pat over on the Rumble side for a buck says Disney will make Hawkeye a chick and make her gay. Yes, probably. And welcome to everybody who's a new viewer over on the Rumble side. We do this every day from 11 to 12. Talk about some entertainment, pop culture, and gaming news sometimes. We have a couple super chats to catch up with, so we'll get those and we'll get back into our next topic. Linko Kenobi, Delta Entertainment for $50. Thank you, Linko. What's up, guys? I'm happy Jeremy Renner gave Marvel the finger. I talked about it in my video and also gave Thunderbolts a 2.5 out of 5. Acting was good, but movie was boring. Too much CGI during the Sentry fight. Anyway, I'm at work. Hail the 199. Thank you very much, Delta Entertainment. Appreciate it.
I got to hang out with Linko Kenobi. He was in town. We all went and had lunch over at City Walk. Awesome.
Where'd you eat?
Oh, with that brick fire pizza, baby. There's nothing
solid.
better. That is a great place on City Walk. That pizza is fan. And you know what you got to do? You got to ask them to make it extra crispy. If you don't ask them, they'll make it regular. If you ask them for the extra crispy, it's amazing.
You don't like the flop?
I'm not into the flop. I'm into the crisp and the flake.
All right. Cal Prime says, "Hail, Steven." Shout out to Mug Club and Steven Crowder over there. Christian Rocker, Ryan, would be cool to have you and your Star Wars knowledge over on a Star Wars Locals watch party. Last night was fun. I always actually had my own stream that I do on Thursdays talking about Star Wars Expanded Universe. So that's what I was doing.
What channel is that on?
Matt Wilkins' channel, actually. We talked about Revenge of the Sith novelization. It was fun. Nightwalker Medicine for 5. Andor drop schedule is also a desperate attempt to have the show chart on streaming stats. That's what I think. They wanted to make sure that it stayed high watch time throughout the entire thing, as opposed to falling off. Tobias Nexus for 5. Don't ask me what the Khajiit are doing. I'm too busy with Argonian maids to worry what cats are up to with weapons. Weapons don't polish themselves, after all. Thanks, Tobias. Crazy Clowntown. I remember the Jeremy Renner snow removal meme account. Yeah, that was scary. Apparently, he goes through the entire story on Joe Rogan. I have to watch that at some point because I've heard it's really worth a listen, like you said, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tobias next for 5. Also, remember that canonically, Argonians of the Black Marsh reverse invaded the Daedra when they tried to open an Oblivion portal there. Everyone has to remember that, Tobias. You're right. Callum Lau for $5. If Jeremy Renner said yes, would it be about him or his female sidekick who no one likes, and the story will be about gender struggles and feminism?
Hard to say.
I mean, it's a Marvel project, so. Panic and Skyfaller, I agree it doesn't offend me, but Nike took their banner down. They stepped in by apologizing, publicly taking the L. Left-wing boycott happening. Yeah, if in 2025 someone uses the phrase "never again" or something, I just
never again.
Find something like that, but I don't think it's that crazy. I wouldn't have thought about that. Taker for 5. I saw this headline about Predator Badlands. It was trying to say the Predator's not an adult, so they went when Disney introduces child Predator. You see about once a month, there's a sting down here in Florida for some random shit. And almost always you see some Disney employees get caught up.
Always.
Probably it's because Disney employs so many damn motherfuckers down here. But yes, not an uncommon headline. Carol Hall with 5 gifted Geeks and Gamers memberships. Shout out to Carol Hall. Thank you. AD the Demon Slayer for 20. Happy Friday. That is all. Thank you, AD the Demon Slayer. Did Zegler go after Renner? I believe
She kind of did.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
When Jeremy Renner had some like messy public divorce, something happen.
Yeah.
And he may have tried to shoot himself. There was something crazy that happened. And I think Rachel's, wait, was it because he said something? Was it that, or was it something about deaf people? Was that the controversy that she got all inflamed about? I don't remember.
It's who knows. She
Rachel
went after
Zegler was
anyone. She went
desperately
after
trying to get a bunch of people at Disney fired, like Jeremy Renner, like Gina Carano.
Yeah.
Only to find herself the target of so much ire because she's a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what you fucking get. That's what you get. But somebody did mention Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is here, Jay. Thunderbolts with an asterisk. There's obviously already a lot of spoilers out for it. I will be talking about the movie kind of in depth on Friday Night Tights a little bit later with my review. I was able to watch it this morning right after I woke up, shockingly, from the comfort of my own couch. So I was able to see it. I don't know if this is going to move the needle for anyone, honestly. I just don't know if this is going to do it, if this is going to be the thing. We've been told over and over again, just like we're told over and over again with every Marvel movie that comes out, that the next Marvel movie is the best since Endgame.
Yes.
It's a return to form. It's what the MCU has been missing. I don't know if that's the case for Thunderbolts. It's full of characters that a lot of people aren't super invested in, that are all kind of outcasts and all have their own problems going on. They're all depressed. They all hate their lives. And the way they save the day, Jay, is by telling each other that they're there for them and by listening to their feelings and understanding each other. And that not by like fighting a big bad, but instead by getting mental health is pretty much how this movie goes. And, looking at some of the projections that we had coming in, it didn't look like there was a lot of interest. It was projected 70 to 75. Some places had it up closer to $80 million opening weekend, which would be less than Captain Black America Brave New World, which just flopped horrifically at the box office, by the way. And with the global numbers factored in, it was expected 160 to 175 Black Widow or Eternals numbers. Again, if it falls somewhere in between Black Widow and Eternals and Captain America Brave New World, that is a massive failure and a flop for Marvel. But this is where we are. We do not have official numbers yet for the Thursday previews, but right now, based on the analysis of what we saw late last night, they think it's going to be an $11 million Thursday night, which again is $1 million below Captain America Brave New World. And depending on where you look right now, like if you look at China, it's the MCU's lowest opening in China they've ever had, basically, in this era. So it's struggling in China. Some places in Europe, it's doing well. Like I can give you some examples here. In France, debuted at number 1, but it's the second lowest opening day, just lower than the Marvels. So everything else is above it, from Shang-Chi to Black Widow to all this other shit. But in Japan, it's doing well. So you got some places it's overperforming, some places it's significantly underperforming. I think we're looking at like an $80 million weekend, a little more than $80 million weekend here, 170, 180 maybe million dollars worldwide. And it's just another thing that they spent way too much money on that in all likelihood no one's really going to show up to, and it's going to be another failure for them. And this is the lead up to Avengers Doomsday.
I also heard that the end credit scene, I haven't seen it, the end credit scene is like a spoiler. Like they kind of messed up. It's like a spoiler for Fantastic Four.
It's not a mess up. That's a tease to get you to go watch Fantastic Four. Like,
Okay, but it kind of spoils their movie, possibly.
I suppose it
I
depends.
don't
how
know.
you-
I haven't seen. That's why I'm asking. I don't want to give it away or talk about it, but it's just I don't.
I mean,
That's what I saw on like Twitter. That people were like, "Oh man, the end credit scene just gave away the Fantastic Four film, the ending of the Fantastic Four film." It's like, huh,
I
interesting.
guess it's not a mess up. They clearly meant to do that to try to get people invested and interested
Gotcha.
in Fantastics. But also the Fantastic Four are all cast to be in Avengers Doomsday. The Thunderbolts that survived are all cast to be in Avengers Doomsday. They've already spoiled those if you want to get explicit with it. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I think it's more of a setup to get you to want to watch it than it is a they spoiled it type of thing, because I don't think anyone thought they weren't going to survive. But look, this is definitely Black Widow Yelena's movie. Red Guardian is a big dummy. John Walker is played off as a joke for most of the time. Bucky's in it a little bit. Sentry could be a freaking phenomenal villain or a phenomenal character, period, right? He could have been like this phenomenal villain in this movie, but ultimately they have one fight scene with him and then they just have to help him with his mental health problems. And that's how they win. I just don't know, man.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that's real. I can't believe that. Help him with his mental health. Oh man. That I don't know what to say. That's wild, man.
But look, if this thing does, because right now it's tracking below Captain Black New America, Brave New World clusterfuck, tracking below that and above something like Eternals. So if we look at those, you're talking about a movie that's going to be again in this $400 million territory. It's another financial failure and it's another embarrassment. And this is a movie that's supposed to lead directly into their next big thing. But we'll see. Maybe people feel better about it. I actually think it's a better movie than Captain America by like a decent margin. But I just like, I'm not saying it's good or anything, but I just don't think it's as bad as Captain America Brave New World.
So this is a movie about Sentry being depressed and they have to help cure his depression.
Jay, this is a movie about Sentry being depressed, about Yelena being depressed, about Red Guardian being depressed, about John Walker being depressed, about Ghost being depressed. This is a movie about a bunch of people who are broken and struggling and lonely, and they come together for each other to help each other.
Yeah, I was wanting this. I might skip that. I'm sure there'll be clips online eventually of everything. And so it's a giant 2-hour therapy session. And what's what it sounds like. I hear they get a name change too. That's why there's the asterisk.
Asterisk.
So there's no longer the Thunderbolts.
The whole thing is the Thunderbolts are named after Yelena's fucking like kindergarten soccer team.
Okay.
But should I just say it? Like, it's out there. These spoilers are out there. I'm gonna say what it is. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Valentina, Julia Louis-Dreyfus character. She's really like the antagonist of this movie, and I think it's fucking pathetic. I don't give a shit about her character, basically. But at the end, she had planned to have all the Thunderbolts killed and wanted Sentry to be a hero. They had to he was going to kill everybody like in the world, basically. So they had to, get inside his mind and say, we're there for you, buddy. Don't worry. We'll all get through this together. And at the very end, she kind of tricks them into coming out for this press conference to announce that they are the new Avengers. So they're the new Avengers.
Wow.
And the post-credit scene is 14 months later and them dealing with they're living in Avengers Tower, but a lot of people don't think they are the Avengers. Sam Wilson is currently suing over the naming rights. Red Guardian throws we could be Avengers with a Z. It's all kind of cringe.
That's rough. You know what you mind if I remove this real quick after I did it without even asking you? You know what we should be all going to the theater to see this weekend and celebrate? Avengers: The Kang Dynasty was supposed to open this weekend. Man, I was excited. Weren't you, Ryan? You were excited. We were all excited for the Avengers film that never happened, that once was, that could have been, that maybe would have changed the game. Maybe this was the movie that was supposed to just be the end of all movies.
Bro, they were so excited. They're like, look, we got this great new actor. His name's Jonathan Majors. He's going to be Kang. And then not only, look, personally, it's kind of like with the NFL, right? If you're talented enough, if you bring the people out there, if you can help the team, you can have a lot of problems. They'll still keep you on. You could choke a bitch. You can slam her up against the wall, whatever. They'll still find a way to keep you on. Jonathan Majors, regardless of all the legal stuff and his probably roid rage problems and him choking it and admitting to all of these things, by the way, it's not like he admitted to doing this. So for all those people that are like, how dare you miss me with it? He admitted to doing it. But he should have been fired because he gave such a bad performance and no one gave a shit about his character. That's what Jonathan Majors should have been fired for. But yeah, the Kang thing, that's just going to be a loose end, man. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Just recast.
I think they'll wait till AI becomes even better and they'll just say, here's the Kang movie we're going to give you, but never did. All done in AI.
Yeah, I do think there's some, like, in Thunderbolts, I think there's some moments that are, to me, the best moment of the movie is kind of close to the end when a lot of them, they failed going up against Sentry. It didn't work. Sentry kind of turns into Void and is just snapping people out of existence. But they all feel like they've really failed and that they're fucking losers and they can never be heroes, blah, blah, blah. And then the city starts kind of getting destroyed as he's snapping people out of existence. Helicopters are falling down, buildings are getting hit, stuff is falling, and all of them in a different way go and save somebody. And, you know, just because they felt it was the right thing to do. So they save all these people, they work together, and they get like cheers, right? In New York, these guys get cheers. And that's kind of what gives Valentina the idea to call them the new Avengers. Like there were some like okay moments like that, but the entire principle that you set all of this entire thing up and you have all these broken people who are struggling, I think it's actually going to be appealing to a certain number of people out there who are perpetually like victims themselves and think that their lives aren't worth anything. Maybe that's the crowd they're going after. I don't know. But yeah, there was a nice little moment between Yelena and Red Guardian, in between the stupid cringe dumb moments where everyone acts retarded. But overall, I just don't think this is going to turn the needle.
So did Sentry join them to form the new Avengers at the end?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
But his name's Bob.
Yeah. Is Reynolds, right? Robert
Reynolds, maybe.
Sentry and the Void together.
But he doesn't remember anything that happened, so I don't know.
I didn't read much about him when I read comics. The only thing that I kind of remember, and the chat can correct me because they always do, is hero like trying to coexist in the same body. So
yeah, that's basically what they showed in this.
Okay.
It's pretty much what they showed in this. And they had to tell him that they're going to be there for him and that it'll all be okay and that they'll all get through this together. What everybody likes to go to the theater to see, right? People working through their mental health issues. That's what people want out of their superhero movies. B. Barrett for 2 on Rumble. My black friend started a new towing business. He calls it Brazil Nuts. Thank you.
Wow, can I share this real quick and then I'll be done? Like we actually, congratulations. Thank you guys, everybody. We're like front page and center.
There you go. That's us.
So on Rumble.
Unfortunately. I'm glad I got a haircut yesterday, Jay.
Yeah.
Didn't want to look all shaggy over on the front
Glad I
page
cleaned
of
my
Rumble
room.
where we got 18,000 people watching us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rumble. Shout out to them over there. We do have one more piece of news. Let's catch up with a couple super chats and we'll hit that last one. Where was I? Max Relax, new channel member. Thank you. Hairukami for £5. What Was thinking what Star Wars trilogy I'd like to see would be Darth Bane destroying the Sith and force the rule of 2. It'd be a great adaptation that somebody could do. It'd be fantastic. Tobias updated my stepdad. He comes back home today. My mom sent me this. Surgery went well. They took out the entire thyroid and some lymph nodes as it was cancerous, but he's confident he got it all. That's scary, Tobias, but I'm glad your stepdad got through the surgery okay, man. Michael Denise, Thunder fans be Bolton. Maybe. Snacks, the real Thunderbolts were the mental illness we made along the way. Blue Shell, draw 4. Sometimes when I see the furry jokes, I just hope Ryan has or plans on getting a hunting license, for the laughs. Do furries count? I'll run out and get one right away. The Trillis, spoil the end credits. We don't care. I did. Snacks Century just had Tourette's. Maybe. Clyde Dashing, you know that episode of Simpsons where Marge is brought to write Itchy and Scratchy without the violence and they work out their problems with words? Kind of. Yeah. Callan, let me guess all the women were OP, the men die and the women survive, blah, blah, blah. Kevin Feige's a gutless joke. The men didn't die. One woman dies right away. But like John Walker and Red Guardian were kind of treated as the butts of a lot of the jokes in there until kind of the end. Bucky, not so much. Murnum Thunderbolts, sponsored by BetterHelp. Thunderbolt cast needs 9-line merch. Feels better. The Bungles Twanger. Even now, I keep getting Rachel Zegler Defenders in my feed. Today, I saw one that said Snow White made more than the original Cinderella. Or from like 70 years ago or something. Whenever the fuck that came out. Jane, your recent Revenge of the Sith video, which I loved and agree with, you said April 31st
I
instead
know.
of the 30th.
I know.
There is no April 31st.
I know.
Did you know that, Jay?
I also thought this was April 2nd today. I know. It's definitely driving engagement of that video to reach over 10,000 views. So thank you, because all the comments are like, why did you say April 31st? At this point, it's just, there we go.
Greedy Graffiti, not my Avengers with a Z. 80 the Demon Slayer 5. Quick, guys, tuck your shirts in and straighten your posture. We have company watching. It's Casual Friday for Jay.
Yeah, I pulled my chain out.
That's right.
2 for
Infamous, 10. Jonathan Majors or Ray Rice? Look, Ray Rice's girl spit on him. If you remember that footage. She spit on him, and that's when he knocked her out. So, just saying, don't spit on people. That's not nice. It's not a very nice thing to do. But we do have some gaming news real quick, Jay, here at the end that broke this morning. Grand Theft Auto is probably one of the most highly anticipated game releases in history ever. It's been over a decade since the last entry in the franchise. People have been sitting there, not very patiently, but waiting for GTA 6. It was supposed to come out this holiday season, basically, but we hadn't heard anything from Rockstar in forever. We got a trailer back in 2023. Haven't really seen anything since then. A lot of people expected maybe it's not going to be ready in time. Are they still going to drop it? You've got other gaming companies that are moving their releases to stay away from Grand Theft Auto 6 because they know how big it's going to be, regardless of how much money is going to cost to actually get it. Well, officially this morning, we got word that Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed to May of 2026.
Another year.
Rockstar Games says it needs more time to deliver the quality you expect and deserve. Now, more time. Look, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out 11 years ago. So that it's funny that we need more time to get this right, and it's been 11 years. This is what I will say. It is a way better idea to delay your game if it's not going to be ready than put it out broken. As we've seen time and time again, there's going to be some people that are upset. There's going to be some people that are mad that it got delayed. Ultimately, they will be fine if the game comes out and it works, rather than if you try to release it early and it's broken for some reason. But certainly people have a lot of skepticism about some of the changes that have happened at Rockstar, some of the sensitivity they want to have towards minorities and other people, and you can't say this, can't say that. Will that actually be as present as some people have inferred from some of the reports? We'll only know when it comes out. But certainly there's a lot of red flags and warning signs, but there's also a lot of people that are hyped as shit. And it is going to be one of the biggest games we've ever seen when it launches. People are not going to have to wait basically 6 months longer than they would have had to before. I think it was scheduled for release in either October or November of this year, not till May. And who knows, maybe this won't be the only delay. I think they did this Red Dead Redemption, kind of waited till one of the last minutes and made a big delay. Red Dead Redemption 2 ended up being an amazing game, a phenomenal game. Rockstar has to deliver with this one. There's a lot riding on it.
I'm going to go out and say that they are going to charge $100 for this game. May of next year. I that's my prediction. Could be wrong. Let's hope not. But I just have a feeling Xbox just raised all their prices. Nintendo Switch 2 prices went up a little bit. I have a feeling that they're like, you know what? Everybody else is charging a little bit more. Let's slap the $100 price tag and see. And then they'll have the $120 extended bundle. Hey, you want to get a cool tattoo? Pay the $140 for an exclusive skin. You know, that's what I think. Minimum will be $100.
I don't disagree with you. Xbox just announced they're raising the price of their games by this holiday season to $80, just like Nintendo is doing. A lot of people are trying to blame everybody else. Ultimately, I think they're just taking advantage of the situation because they think they can. It would not surprise me if this game is $100. And you know what? Maybe, look, I will say this. Maybe if it comes out and it doesn't have a lot of the problems that people are concerned about and they deliver a freaking banger,
yeah,
maybe I could be like, okay with that price. If they deliver, if they deliver and it has to be incredible and phenomenal and get a ton out of it.
Yes.
But unfortunately, that then is going to excuse a lot of other people whose maybe games don't live up to that level. That's going to become a new normal. And that's one of the concerns that people have.
That's a major concern.
And I don't think this is anything. There's been some people like, maybe they heard about the woke concerns people have. They're trying to change them. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's just a big game and it needs to get polished and they're not going to be ready. That's personal. I don't think it has anything to do with like story stuff. I think it has everything to do with like the game itself and making sure it's not broken and putting out a polished product. But I guess we'll find out a year from now. Hopefully, May 26th, 2026. This day after Star Wars Day next year.
Star Wars Day.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Real Star Wars Day.
Yes.
John Walker was probably the best part of the movie. John Walker did nothing wrong. Okay. John Walker did absolutely nothing wrong. But he took a lot of shit. Panic and Skyfaller, Harry Robinson gave a pretty good rebuttal to Matt Walsh's shitty take on Revenge of the Sith on Lotus Eaters Daily. I recommend. Nice. Always good to have people standing up to defend bad Matt Walsh movie takes. Like him going after Revenge of the Sith. Mighty Megatron, there's a Mexican, Cuban, and Brazilian in a car. Who's driving? What do you think, Jay?
I'm going to go with the Cuban.
Border Patrol. That's what Mighty Megatron says. So thank you, Mighty Megatron. Pat for a buck. Jay saying April 31st is just 40 chess.
That's true.
Is that true?
I got more engagement and the views go up if you get more people to comment.
Kyle Beckman, do you think delays due to developers seeing a culture shift and Rockstar attempting to unwoke parts of the game? I just talked about that a little bit, but no, I doubt that's what it's specifically about. I think we got a trailer in 2023. They haven't released anything since then. I just don't think the game is ready. I think it's huge. I think it's massive, and I just don't think it's ready. And it's probably the right thing for them to do to delay it. C Black, Thunderbolts is my favorite since Endgame. Maybe those articles were written for you. 0 for 2. How much for 2 chains and $100 prepaid phone card?
I'm going to give you a special offer. We're going to do $125. And if you go down to the 7-Eleven and bring me a free Slurpee, I'll knock off $5.
Empty-headed, 100 for original, 120 for deluxe, 150 for ultimate.
probably it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Apollo says Star Wars was always for a niche audience. Really? Star Wars: A New Hope, if you go look at those numbers and adjust for inflation, is one of the biggest movies ever. So I don't agree. I think you can make other things, other content in there that might be geared towards more niche audiences, but you got to make sense with the budget and everything, and you got to understand it's not going to be viewed by as many people. But I don't think that's the case. Greedy Graffiti for 10. First time sending a rant from this account. Yes, I'm on Rumble too. This is where I post my gangsta rap songs. Well, check out Greedy Graffiti over on Rumble. Derek PG Beller for $1. Remember when they had a line about Walker killing an innocent man, even though he was actually a terrorist who just killed his best friend? Yeah, that's the thing. John Walker did nothing wrong. Okay? John Walker did absolutely nothing wrong. But, Jay, that's it. That's our power hour. Our power hour of Geeks and Gamers Daily every morning here at 11 Eastern.
It's the best duo. We get raids from Crowder and everybody else. All these people watching. The best chat on YouTube over here. Who could ask for anything more?
Yeah, we got a great audience over on YouTube and Rumble today. We had 18,000 people at one point. 18,000 people in the chat. Shout out to the peeps over on Rumble. Hope you guys, if you're new here, hit the follow button. We're live every weekday. Doug B with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, Doug B. Jay, what do you got going on today, man?
I'll probably be playing Fortnite. That's it. While the big boys are on FNT. Fortnite, maybe a little Sea of Thieves Friday.
There you go. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Fun for me, anyway.
I'll be on Friday Night Tights a little bit later, so I'll see you guys over on Nerdrotics channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. That is it. Shout out to the raid from Steven Crowder over on Rumble and all the people that came over and watched the whole time. We appreciate it, and we would talk to all of you guys on Monday. Bye, everybody.